Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the HoI4 UMC Historical AI Timelapse. I'm Narzgel, the creator of UMC, and today I will go through some changes I made to the historical AI, mainly for Germany, but also to Soviet Union. And while I speak, we will watch the time-lapse and see how the AI handles all these changes. The AIs are definitely not perfect, you will see few weird things happening, but overall I am very happy how the AI functions right now. Some unlogical things like Germany forming Reichsprotectorate at French territory while the Vichy exists I already corrected, and the others I will correct very soon. Most of the interesting things are obviously starting to happen when the World War II happens, and right now you can just watch the Spanish Civil War. So I will see you when the war starts. And here we go, you can see the units moving to the front lines and the war has been declared. Here we also see a first abnormality, and that is that Lithuania joined the Allies, which isn't really my fault. They usually do this these days, since they got their own focus tree. But here we have a first major change of the AI, and that is that Germany will now conquer Denmark and invade Norway before going after Benelux countries and France, as it was in history. It's May 1940 and the invasion of Benelux begins. The Germans push through the Ardennes and are now marching on Paris. Meanwhile in France, Pétain takes power and begins negotiating the armistice. And Ordestaat Burgund is established, which also won't happen in historical game from now on. The air war over Britain begins, and I will see you in 1941. Invasion of Yugoslavia begins, ultimately delaying the Operation Barbarossa. Soon after the Yugoslavia falls, the forces are massing on the Eastern Front, preparing the biggest operation in history. As the war with the Soviet Union begins, Germans are successfully pushing into their territory. As the war with the Soviet Union begins, Germans are successfully pushing into their territory. Here is time to talk about two biggest changes I made for Soviet Union. First one is, which is also notable on the map right now, that Soviet Union will try to defend Leningrad, Moscow and Stalingrad with a certain amount of their division. It's also really notable later when the battle over Stalingrad begins. The second change is that I now forced Soviet Union to deploy divisions as fast as they can, so they will now pump divisions really quickly. Now is Germany also casually invading Britain, which is also a fault of, British AI. So when I work on Britain, I'll definitely make them to guard their home island much more. On the Eastern Front, even though that Moscow fallen, the Soviets are really holding Germans back. If they would get much more equipment support from USA, they would definitely push them back soon, which I will also add when I'm working on USA. And now just watch that Stalingrad battle, it's totally epic. For almost a year since Germany came to Stalingrad, Soviets defended it successfully. Only now, when the Germans regrouped, they were finally able to conquer Stalingrad. Yet the Soviets continue the fight, and they amass a large uprising around the Moscow area. The uprising is however quickly crushed, and the Germans prepare for their final assault. It takes them however more than a year to amass such forces that will be able to pierce Soviet lines and cross Ural Mountains. With the beginning of 1945, the final push begins. And with that, the Germans are finally pushing the Soviets behind the Ural. It will, however, take another 6 months before they will be able to claim victory.